Hey there, welcome back to Dishes and Wishes. Today I'm going to preview our Dansk porcelain inventory with you, as well as share some of the other items that also are in our eBay Dishes and Wishes store. Dansk pottery is starting to trickle onto the resale market. The company is based in Denmark. Dansk is, I believe, the Danish word for themselves. What they call them, the people call themselves Dansk. But anyway, it's a really excellent company. They make a fine product. As you will see, the items are manufactured in a bunch of different places. They used to be manufactured in Denmark, but today what's coming onto the market, as a rule, you will find has been manufactured somewhere else, and I'll indicate as appropriate. So, without further ado, let's get into it. And the first Dansk line I'd like to share with you is their Umbrian fruits pattern, and here it is. We have 3 bowls with the flare rim. There's the design around there. We can see there grapes, olives, and pears, and blackberries, and cherries, and plums, golden plums. You can see all of these there. They go around on a vine design. There's a nice pear there, and there's a rim design there that looks to be like woven of some description, and there's the bottom. These items were made in Portugal, one of the regions where Dansk has its dinnerware manufactured. This little groove here is a stacking. Here's 2, whoops a daisy. Yep, there's sort of 2 of them. This is a modern European design there. These are porcelain. They're microwave and dishwasher safe. Umbrian fruits is the pattern, and it's a fairly extensive dinnerware line, and I think that you'll like it. If you see pieces out there, 1 or 2 pieces in any line is completely functional. You just use it where appropriate. Everything is great where it's appropriate and where it works, and where it doesn't work is usually a disaster. So, that's Umbrian fruits. The next line I'd like to introduce to you, which brings me back to a point about Umbrian fruits. This shape, like all shapes, you'll find the dinnerware shape with any number of different designs, and I'll introduce them to you. And when I have the same shape with different designs, I'll try to show you those also to clarify my point. Well, I can actually do it here. So this next line, and this was a popular line from Dansk, it's called Messer, and this Messer pattern is part of the International Designs Limited. This particular platter, this is called Messer White. The rim around the edge, I think, stays constant. These blues and this brown. There's a definite desert feel, a southwestern feel to this. This is a charger or a chop plate or a plate to serve absolutely anything you want. It measures a little shy of 13 inches. And you could even use it as a cake plate. That internal rim there is 11 inches, would take a substantial plate. So this is Messer White, M-E-S-A. And this is Messer Sky blue. Here is a cup and saucer in the sky blue. These were also made in Japan. There it is on the bottom there. And here it is. Perhaps you can catch that better there on the saucer. The saucers are they're 6 1/8 inch diameter. These cups are short. I would call these more coffee cups because they have a wider rim. Allows the coffee to cool down a little quicker. They stand 2 5/16 inches tall and 3 7/8 inch rim diameter. So that's the sky blue and that's the white. You will find other colors, and when I do, I'll share them with you, and so that you can see what I'm talking about with the other colors. Okay, just had to find my pen then. So that's Dansk number 2 and 3. Okay, the next pattern that I'd like to share with you is from Dansk. They have a number of series, international designs. The mess is part of their international design range, and also part of their design range is this pattern. This pattern is called cornucopia. It also was manufactured in Japan, and it's microwave safe also. It has a rim design of apples and grapes and pumpkins and maybe melons. These look like grapes and apples. So your regular cornucopia of fruits in the cornucopia pattern. There are 2 plates. They're 7 1/4 inches. This again is also another extensive line. All of these lines are complete dinnerware sets, and I kind of like to think of them as a jigsaw puzzle, but I don't know where all the pieces are. So you go around. Another thing to try to remember is that a lot of these items don't show well as a single piece. And it's not until you get 3 or 4 pieces of the same pattern together that the design starts to work with itself, and the sum of the parts starts to give you more joy than the individual parts, even though they're nice. So everything I'm going to show you is really something. These pieces can function as replacements if you already have items from this line that you inherited, or that you've been collecting, or that maybe even you bought new but you have broken a couple of pieces along the way. So finding pieces like this is great for that. But another avenue here is about encouraging new collectors to start different sets for different times of the years, for different celebrations that you and your family may be having. You pick up a sugar bowl and you pick up a plate and a platter somewhere. Before you know, you can start to see how it's working, and then you'll just start seeing it all over the place, and just have at it. You can't go wrong, really. You consider how much we spend on a cup of coffee every day because people have forgotten how to make coffee. I haven't, but it seems to have faded from our collective consciousness. Dunkin' Donuts are making a mint, as are Starbucks. I have a cup of instant here in my Harlequin 1950s forest green cup. Here's the saucer. This is more work of Frederick Reed. You know Frederick Reed, the man who designed Fiesta. He was the lead designer at Homer Laughlin until 1942, when he died. Rhythm was sold exclusively in Woolworths. we'll talk more about Harlequin on another day. Suffice to say, I love having my coffee, and I change the colours. The wonderful thing about solid coloured dinnerware is that it really can enhance or encourage a mood. And like the yellows are really happy, you know, if somebody's wicked depressed, give them something in bright colours that they can't, like, that looks like the sunshine. They can't fail but to be happy. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked here with life's lessons. So let's move on. More Dansk International design. This is a rimmed ring pattern, and the pattern is called Ringstead. And this is the green variation. You will find it in blue and maybe other colors. It is the part of their international design series, but this dinnerware set was made in Portugal. So far we have Portugal manufacture and we have Japan manufacture. This is all excellent quality. You know, Portugal is in Europe. It's an old country. They know what they're doing with ceramics. These are modern machines in industrial plants. So really, these items can be manufactured anywhere. When you pay more, you're going to get a better quality. Dansk did not initially sell their products. They weren't at the 5 and dime. You couldn't casually pick a box up of them at Sam's. You know, they're not Royal Sheffield or whatever. Anyway, so that's green Ringstead. Dansk is quality. Quality design in function and in durability. Okay, the next two pattern plates are from the same pattern. And this pattern is called Norwegian Blue. And it is a Norwegian blue rim design there. This was also manufactured in Portugal. And this line is from the Dansk Bistro Cafe. So, this is not part of their international designs. So far we have the Bistro Cafe line. I think we also have a Bistro line and then an international designs. These guys have been around making stuff for a long time, and we're barely scratching the surface without using our nails here. So we're going to learn as we go along, and maybe we'll see something we desire and can check it out further. Everything that I'm going to show you, except the Mesa white plate here, is already listed, and I will get to list that Mesa plate soon, and I'll tell you when it's done. So anyway, this is the smaller of the two plates that are in the store right now, and this is 8 and 7/8 inches in diameter. I'll just pop this here, and here is the larger one with the same exact design around the rim. In fact, I bought these together and they may well have arrived at the Goodwill in the same box. That's a nice pattern, Norwegian Blue. I love it. I forgot to measure the plate for you. Handsome plate there, 10 3/8 inches. Yes, and there it is. What's next? Yes, I got some orphan cups to show you. This is the first one, and I have 3 of them. And this pattern is called Belle Fleurs, French for beautiful flowers. And you see them. This is an 80s design here. Now, this design, this is the taupe variation, and you will find Belle Fleurs with a blue trim. This is part of the international design, and these were made in Japan also. These are slightly smaller cups. They may be espresso cups or just if you're drinking your coffee black. This is 2 3/8 inches high with a 2 7/8 inches outer rim diameter. And as I said, there are 3 of these. I didn't find the saucers that originally went with them, but they're out there somewhere and we will come across them. All we just need to do is think positive before we go out the door, even if we're thinking positively subconsciously. We don't want to overload our frontal parts. So that's Belle Fleur. And to indicate the larger cups, this is a regular cup. This is Dansk. This is an international design. This was also made in Portugal. This is the blue tile pattern. And once again, this comes from they all come from entire dinnerware lines. Did I put that upside down and back to front? Yeah, that's typical. So there's that one. And here to show you how the cups are different in size. That is that much smaller. They're standing on par there, right, as we can see them. And the larger blue tile cup there, it stands 2 3/4 inches high with a rim diameter of 3 3/8. And there's only one of those cups, but there are 3 of the Belle Fleurs. So that is the entire Dansk inventory right now at Dishes and Wishes. I'm out there looking for Dansk because I love it. It's beautiful, it's quality, it's just starting to appear on the resale market. We're on the sharp end of catching it as it emerges. So I'm going to show you now a few other things that are in the Dishes and Wishes store, starting with this little baby here. It's a fine china covered sugar bowl by Noritake. And there it is, the pattern. It's called Blue Hill. There's the inside, contemporary fine china. This pattern is from the 70s and the 80s. There's the stamp on the bottom. And you can see the 4 numbers underneath the pattern. Platinum trim, blue floral design there, typical of the 70s. Nice post-mid-century modern style, heading into a sort of industrial functional, but yet still trying to stay classic. Classic finial there. Beautiful piece. It stands 4 1/4 inches tall with the lid on. Now Noritake, another huge quality company. They've been manufacturing porcelain for over 100 years and have many, many highly desirable dinnerwares. The point I want to make here is that they have many different styles. Originally, and this was manufactured in Japan. No, this Blue Hill, this was manufactured in the 70s, and that is when Noritake started to manufacture in Sri Lanka. Are you familiar with Sri Lanka? It's that big island on the bottom left of India. Sri Lanka used to be called Ceylon, but they changed the name when they became, well, a little while after they became independent from the British Empire, I think. Sri Lanka literally means Ceylon. Oh, and in Ceylon, when you do that, it means yes, but the Europeans used to think it meant no. My aunt used to tell a story about that one of the armors, that the woman couldn't get the hang of this being yes, and that she thought her armor was being just blatantly defiant. You know, she'd say, "Can you wash the dishes?" And the little lady would do this. "Yes, of course, I'd be happy to." And then when the woman would be saying, "Well, what's the point of me having you if I can't get you to do anything?" Anyway, it's an old story from yonks ago. But the point being, Noritake manufactures, like everybody else, they outsourced. It became economically viable. This is all about making money. You know, design is all very nice and durability, and we can talk about 150,000 abstract concepts. But at the end of the day, all of this stuff was about making money. So, Noritake outsourced. The Bluebell dinnerware line, among many others, and we will come across them and discuss them, was manufactured in Sri Lanka. This next covered sugar bowl here, you can see it, handled, footed. There it is with the ivy pattern. This is part of Noritake's Celt craft designed by Noritake. The pattern is called Ivy Lane, and this was actually manufactured in Ireland, who have a fine and long history, as I'm sure you're aware, with the ceramics, bone china, pottery industry. So Ivy Lane 9180 is the number. Once again, a whole dinnerware line waiting for you to pick it up piece by piece. Next, I'd like to show you this antique Limoges porcelain shell-shaped dish. It's decorated with gold and pink roses. It has a foot, you can clearly see it's in beautiful condition. There's its Limoges, France mark right there. It measures sort of 5 inches by 5.5 inches, and it stands an inch off the table. There's a hint of wear to the gold here and there, but it is so clear that you can barely notice it. And there it is. That's in the store, Dishes and Wishes, waiting to go visit you. Live with you even. How about this little piece of cut crystal? It's a nice little cupped dish with a crossed diamond thatch and a fanned design. There. Flower. Oh, I'm off the camera. Silly me. I'm looking with the wrong eye. There it is. There it is. That's just a small, polished, as you can see. Beautiful workmanship there. Yes. It stands 1 7/8. And you can hear that clear ring. Yes, beautiful piece of crystal there. Anyway, there it is, Royal Dalton. The next I'd like to introduce you to is a little bit of Lenox, a beautiful American porcelain. Lenox is an American quality company, and they have a lot of different dinnerware services that they've produced over the years. This is one of them. This pattern is called Lyric, and it is a gold design featuring berries and leaves, and there's a gold rim trim. There's the back stamp there. That's a classic Lenox back stamp, and notice the creamy colored porcelain. That's typical. In fact, I would not be surprised if they offered a line that that it was, you could get it in the creamy porcelain. They do other colors, and I'm going to show you a lighter piece. But this here is 6 1/4 inch plate, and here's the 7 3/4 inch plates. These probably came from the same home, I would imagine. There are 3 of each of these in the Dishes and Wishes store, and they would make a great starter set. They're completely functional, and you're off and running with them. Now here is another beautiful piece of Lenox. The porcelain is slightly lighter. There it is. It's a bulbous footed bud vase with a golden wheat design. There it is. And it stands 8 inches tall. There's the stamp on the bottom, you can see. It's not in gold this time. The gold stamp is fairly common. There is gold writing underneath, but the stamp there is in ink. Anyway, there it is, beautiful. Just looking for a new home. Okay, how about this little piece of fine English bone china? It is from the 1920s or the 1930s. It is an espresso coffee server with a stick handle. It's got a berry design there in greens and like a crimson with gold trim. The lid has a safety on, so you put the little thing in there and you twist it around, and the lid can't fall off if you've had too much wine at dinner. So this is a beautiful, nice gold trim. I'm amazed that this hasn't sold in the store every time I look at it, but there it is. It stands 5 3/4 inches high. It has a 3 1/8 inch base. It's a beautiful little soon-to-be antique coffee pot. Just wait to go to your home and impress your friends after dinner. Okay, what else do we have? Oh yes, nice piece of American whiteware dinnerware. And here it is. This is a 1952 Knowles China mid-century modern style creamer. This line is called Accent. It's a full coupe shape. There's the stamp. Now, Knowles back stamps, that number 52 there, that's the year. And in the case of Knowles, the second number indicates the month. Not all companies, the second number indicates the month. You have to go company by company knowing what each of them did, rather than make some sort of blanket assumption that all the numbers on all of them mean the same things, because they don't. It's just Knowles. This is a classic Knowles stamp from the 50s. So even if there are no numbers there, you will see this shape. And you can see this. The sugar is oval with a flat top. I don't have it. I've had them. You are going to find this in a half a dozen colors, as well as any number of decal decorated pieces that have nice gold trim. They look wonderful mixed and matched, and I encourage you. This is a diminishing supply of all of this stuff. It's not being manufactured anymore. What we got is what we've got. And so we have to herd it and shepherd it into the right regions. So that's the creamer. It's beautiful, and I hope you like it. Here is another piece of American. This is Taylor Smith Taylor. You all know Lou Ray, I'm sure. And this is yellow Lou Ray creamer. This has a variation because it has a Shasta daisy design on it. These also mix and match well with your regular creamer. Luray is a conglomeration. When Taylor Smith Taylor responded to Homer Laughlin's Fiesta, although they didn't really react, they were all doing the same thing at the same time, like the same way that the cars all look the same. There's one designer and everybody copies. But anyway, let's stay focused here. Taylor Smith Taylor had a number of shapes. One of those shapes was called the Empire shape. It was a complete dinnerware set. You will find decal decorated dinnerware on the Empire shape. On the hollowware pieces, this handle that looks like sort of a little mouth with a tongue poking out, that is a classic motif on the Empire shape, and it is that by which you recognize it immediately, especially if there's no mark. The money in items, second-hand items, is not having the mark on the bottom. You know, we teach chimpanzees to read signs. It's knowing what something is without a big sign that waves backwards and forwards and says, you know, Picasso. So, that's what that is. This creamer is small. It stands 2.5 inches tall and measures 5 3/4 from handle to the spout. It's in beautiful condition. I've told you before, I only sell nice stuff because I don't want to hear, you know, when you're disappointed. I'm already disappointed, so I don't go down there and then, you know, breakages occur along the way. Please, and if you buy something from me and something goes wrong, tell me, because I'll put it right, whatever it is. Anyway, what else do we have here? Oh yeah, we have this beautiful antique lusterware porcelain cup and saucer. And it has a blue and gold hand enameled floral design. I can't work out if that design there, if they are passion flowers, because the vines are, and the tendrils are always a big giveaway. Different plants send out different types of tendrils. There's a pattern to them. Anyway, it might also be wisteria. You can see on the inside there's the nice pink lusterware, and around the rim we have shells and cartouches or scrolls if you're in a hurry. And here is the matching saucer. Beautiful. You can see the rim design there. There it is. The saucer measures 5 3/4. The cup stands 2 3/8. Beautiful ring. Nice pieces. Those guys are sitting in the store waiting for one of you to say, come hither. Okay, and last but not least, I should like to show you this piece of black depression glass. It's a big covered L.E. Smith bean-shaped pot with the tab handles. The lid also serves as a tray in its own right. Here is the inside of this. You can see the light shining purple. The glass is really purple, and when you shine a strong light through it, like my window in the background, you can really get to see that. Where it's too thick and the sun can't shine through like that, you can't see it. Does it shine through here? Not so much, it's more reflective. There's the silver design, a little tiny bit of wear. That nice spray there, seen in a number of different places. The only thing with this is that there is a tiny, on the back of something here, there it is, right there, just a little rough point here on the edge. And that's why this is in an auction actually, and it starts at $10. This stands 6 inches tall and it measures 8 inches maximum diameter. It's a nice piece of glass, and I'd love one of you to proudly display it somewhere so I can put something else in its place. Anyway, that's all I have to show for you today. Please say hi, and you can ask me anything. If I have the answer to it, I certainly will share it with you. I'll see you real soon, and just to let you know, we are planning Dishes and Wishes YouTube exclusives. They will be shows where what I show you is not going to be available on eBay. It's not going to be instant sales. The plan is that I show you, and that if you are interested after you see the video and you've thought about it, you can then you can talk to me a message and we'll communicate, and we'll go from there. I'm sure most of you are familiar with that sort of system. Anyway, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you soon. Take care.